Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Digital Contractor on Turf's Up Radio. I am your host, Chris Fondrick, and I am super excited to talk with Adam Linnemann from Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping in Columbia, Illinois. How are you doing, Adam?
I'm doing fine, Chris. Thanks for having me on today.
It's a pleasure. I'm super excited about this. So let's talk a little bit about introduction and give a general background here. How long has Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping been in business?
Sure. So my business was started back in 1994, and we are in our 25th anniversary. Going forward, going on 26 years now of our landscaping company. Started it back at the age of 14 years old with a push mower, and grew it from there. I actually started mowing lawns in the neighborhood with a buddy. Went through high school, the business was succeeding, and things kind of ramped up from there and took off. So it's been a fun jet of travels through the last 25, 26 years.
That's awesome. 14 years old, and look at you now, man.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. Do you mind sharing your approximate revenue?
Sure. Our sales goal for 2020 is about $1.6 million in revenue. And just in the last couple of years, we've been growing pretty rapidly on our sales revenue.
I saw that picture. I saw that picture you sent over with the crew and everything and the big L, and that'll go out on the social stuff. How many trucks and employees do you run? So
in our peak season, we're about 25 in our peak season. And gosh, between our sales vehicles and our service vehicles, I know every day, we're dispatching out about 9 crews, Chris. So, but 3 landscaping crews that do design, build, and maintenance. We're actually downsizing our mowing crews. We had 4 crews 2 years ago. Last year, we're down to 3 crews, and this year we're going to be down to 2 mowing crews, and that's on purpose. And I can explain more about that a little bit later. And then we are running 3 fertilization technicians. And then we have a couple salespeople in the office here, sales manager and another salesperson. We have an operations manager and then an office coordinator. So as a team, as a whole, like I said, in our peak season, we're usually around 23, 24, 25 people, and keeps us hopping, that's for sure. It's a lot to manage.
I think that would be a great time to talk a little bit more about that, because the next 2 questions are, what services do you offer and what markets do you serve? While you're addressing that, could you maybe expand a little bit more on the logic behind downsizing the mowing crews?
Sure. So, and this has been a really hard decision to make on there, but really how it all kind of started was we started with mowing grass. That's how I started my lawn care business back in the day, and it was easy to make money. It was a good business to be in because, number one, you had reoccurring revenue. So it made your business valuable because you had that reoccurring revenue. You were pretty much, as long as you didn't screw up and were honest with the customer, you would have guaranteed work the next year, right? And it was good. It was good money whenever I was doing it on my own, and I didn't have a whole lot of overhead. But as we grew and the business grew, we started hiring salespeople. We had to eventually get our own shop and facility at that point in time. And then we had an office coordinator help out with answering the phones and doing billings and things like that. And it honestly just got to the point to where if you're doing residential lawn care, it's very, very difficult to have a company my size with overhead that we have and be profitable and be able to actually sell the mowing at the price that we need to have in order to be in business of mowing residential lawns. So that's basically the reason why we have decided to kind of slowly get out of that a little bit, just because we can't compete with a 1 or 2 man operation that's mowing grass anymore. Our minimum to even be able to make a stop at a person's house for lawn care is $45 right now. So if we didn't have the overhead, we could definitely be less than that. And so with our growth, we're almost kind of pricing ourselves out of the market on mowing. We realize that. So that was one reason. The second reason is that, as you probably know and probably hear a lot, is it's very difficult to find good help nowadays. and mowing services that we offered, that was typically the area where we might have our highest turnover of labor, number one, and where we might get our most complaints. And so we're visiting these properties, anywhere from 28 to 30 times a year. And sometimes the headaches that were involved with it just wasn't worth the money to go and make the stop. So we kind of made a conscious decision to slowly get out of that a little bit, not advertise it so much. If we are going to do it, we're going to make sure we are making good profit on it. And I'd rather, make my $2 or $3 profit a year on a mowing customer by visiting them once or twice a year on a landscaping job versus making that money, $10 or $20 profit at a time.
I love that. And as a company evolves, you have to evolve the quality and service and pricing all together, right?
Exactly.
It's good for you, good for the customer. Yeah, I love it.
The mowing's a loss leader. It really is a loss leader. I like to call it so.
I think that's experience calling it that, right?
Yep.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here on the Digital Contractor Show on Turf's Up Radio, and we'll be back with more guest background from Adam Linnemann, Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping in Columbia, Illinois.
Hey, Turf's Up Radio fans, this is Chris Fondrick with Hardscape Marketer. Are you frustrated or overwhelmed with marketing your business? If you'd like to be a local market leader, create a steady stream of new customers, and spend more time doing the things you love, we can help. We know what it's like to build a landscaping business, run crews, and work with customers. If you're ready to grow your business by getting your internet marketing right, download our ultimate internet marketing cheat sheet today at hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet. That's hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet.
We're back on the Digital Contractor Show and Turf's Up Radio with our guest, Adam Linnemann from Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping in Columbia, Illinois. So we like to talk about guest background now, and you gave us a little bit of line of sight on that when you started the business at 14. Can you tell us a little bit more about how the business got started and a brief history of how you evolved it over those 30 years?
Sure. So like I mentioned, I started at the age of 14, and one of the things that if anybody follows me on my personal Facebook page, I know I like to eat. I'm a foodie, so I like to grow my big green egg and whatnot. But, at the age of 14, when I was out mowing lawns after school and things like that, dinner was always ready at 4:30 every night at mom and dad's house. And so what I'd have to do is I'd have to stop off on my riding lawnmower, my wagon, at a local restaurant on the way home and have dinner there, because she wasn't saving dinner for me after that. But finally turned 16 years old, Chris, got my first pickup truck. It was a 1987 S10. Used my dad's trailer. My dad was an entrepreneur himself. Actually, my whole family were entrepreneurs. My grandmother's 93 years old and still owns this own full-service gas station here in Columbia, Illinois. But yeah, and she just stopped working there just 5 years ago. She was out pumping gas still at the age of 87, 88 years old. So a whole history of entrepreneurs in my hometown here and my family. But yeah, turned 16, was able to get around town a little bit more. That definitely helped me be more mobile and then be able to get in front of customers more on a regular basis. At the age of 18 years old, high school senior, getting ready to graduate, I was making $40,000, $50,000 a year at the time, making more money than what my father was working a union job for the city of Columbia. So that was pretty cool. I was also the first high school student that anybody knew that was able to afford their brand new F-350 pickup truck that they bought and ordered from the dealership. So it was cool. Like I said, I love money. I love the color green, and I love working hard. So it wasn't a problem for me at the time. Through the years, I obviously hired multiple people to help me grow my business and to be team members along my side. I rented shop facilities and things like that as we grew and gained a few more trucks, more equipment. Then probably, maybe 8-9 years ago or so, we decided to make the decision to go ahead and build our own facility. And so we're located between Columbia and Waterloo, Illinois, about 4 miles out in the country, and we have about 3 acres of property here. We have 2 6,000 square foot facilities with the office and hoop house out here. We are able to stockpile our own gravels and mulches, which is definitely a lot more efficient way to buy materials. And you can make some pretty good profit margins on buying that stuff in bulk. And like I said, the business has been growing ever since, and sometimes making the decisions on, like I mentioned earlier, on cutting some of the lawn mowing services is a hard decision to make, considering my grassroots and where I started at. But systems and procedures and software programs and things like that have helped me make those decisions and make me feel a little more confident in those decisions. So,
grassroots, I love that.
No pun intended, right?
Right, of course. So, can you tell us a little bit about what your unique selling proposition is?
Sure. So, in every year we kind of take a look at that, and should it be tweaked? What is our Linnemann difference, right? What are we giving our peace of mind to a customer on? And I think one of the biggest things that we have as our unique selling point here, or proposition, is probably that we're the only lawn and landscaping company in our market area here that has Peggy, which is our office coordinator. And she answers the phones for us Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and we are reachable and we're reliable. So I say that's a big seller there. And she's like our company's mother. She takes care of us. She's an excellent cook. She brings in some great foods and things like that, so it keeps everybody motivated and everybody happy. But she's definitely a big asset to our company, and having someone that, like I said, if the customer needs something, they can call in, and she's relatable with them, and she does a great job. So I would say that's very simple, but it's also very powerful to have someone that you can call and they're going to pick up the phone.
Right.
The other thing is, a few other things that we have upper sleeves are we are the only company in our market area that offers a 3-year plant warranty on our materials. We provide the first year material and labor. Year 2 and 3 is just the material only. So if it does die after year 1, they can get a new plant, but if they want us to come out and replace it, they're going to have to pay for us to come out and replace it. But we do offer the 3-year plant warranty. Our philosophy is, if we do have an issue, it's going to be dead within the first 3 or 6 months. So why not go ahead and stick our neck out there a little bit further and offer it as a 2 or 3 year warranty and make that an extra little selling point.
Well, and that seems to be right in line with reachable and reliable, right? They can count on you to stand behind it. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Well, that's all great stuff. Adam, thank you. We're going to take another quick break here on the Digital Contractor Show, and we'll be back with more from Adam Linnemann from Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping.
Hey, Turfs Up Radio fans, this is Chris Fondrick with Hardscape Marketer. Are you frustrated or overwhelmed with marketing your business? If you'd like to be a local market leader, create a steady stream of new customers, and spend more time doing the things you love, we can help. We know what it's like to build a landscaping business, run crews, and work with customers. If you're ready to grow your business by getting your internet marketing right, download our ultimate internet marketing cheat sheet today at hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet. That's hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet.
We're back on the Digital Contractor Show with our guest, Adam Linnemann from Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping in Columbia, Illinois. I got it. We like to talk about the marketing overview, not just a digital specific view right now, Adam. Can you tell us, what types of marketing do you do, and what's the overall mix look like?
Sure. I can tell you we've tried probably a lot of different things. I shouldn't say probably. We have tried a lot of different things. We've done every door direct mail. We've had some success with that. Last time we did that's probably been 4 or 5 years ago, but we've done some of that. I can tell you one of the things that does really well for us is we have these little door hangers that basically say, "Pardon our dust." We are working next door to your house, and we give these door hangers to our crews, and they're to hang these door hangers on each side of the property that they're working on. So that's been a pretty good success for us. Definitely having something just very simple, having clean, shined up, washed trucks out and about that are clearly lettered has made a big difference, as well as our crews. Crew members are all uniformed identically. So we have a uniform company where we rent our uniforms, and all of our team members are well dressed and have clean uniforms on, and just, once again, looking professional out in the field, I think goes a long way. One more little piece of a golden nugget, Chris, that you may want to hear about is So our whole county, where my company is located at, is about 45,000 people. So it's a really small county. It's a rural county. Some of the bigger cities are only 10 or 12,000 people. However, we're only 11 miles south of St. Louis. But one of the things I wanted to mention is our local newspaper is a bi-monthly newspaper. So it's published twice a month. And inside the paper, they publish the real estate transactions. And what we are doing is I'm getting that newspaper, and twice a month I'm going through and looking at the home values of what they sold for and circling which ones I want Peggy in her office to go ahead and send out a welcome to the neighborhood little letter in the mail saying, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. Congratulations on buying your new home. Here's some of the services that we offer. We'd love to be a partner with you. So that has helped us quite a bit, and we've also gained quite a bit of work off of something just as simple as that.
That's amazing. I love that approach. It's a step that I can't imagine very many people are doing. That's great. What marketing efforts drive the most leads? Not necessarily the best, but the most leads for you?
I would say probably that Welcome to the Neighborhood newsletter is one. If I'm allowed to step into the digital side a little bit, I'd like to say probably our email blast newsletter. So we've have since switched to MailChimp, but before we were with Constant Contact. We did a lot of the newsletters in-house on our own before, and now we are hiring out that service. But my point is that we've collected several thousand email addresses over the years, and we're pumping those out on a monthly basis and promoting our services that we're offering. And it's typically every time we send something out, we're getting anywhere from, quite honestly, on the low side, maybe 2 or 4 responses back to maybe as many as 20 responses back every time we send something out, depending on the type of season. But I think newsletters are very, very important because you're able to do call to actions, you're able to solicit and offer new services, and you're able to help educate the customer all at the same time. And it's just one way to be able to hopefully stay in front of the customer and kind of grab that low-hanging fruit and hopefully make some additional upsells.
That top of mind. You have to stay top of mind with value-add content. Yeah,
exactly.
100%. So what drives the most profitable leads for you? It might be hard to put a finger on just one.
Yeah, well, so back to our mowing services and fertilization services, those types of services typically are a little bit more of a commodity in the country in general, I would say, and in our market area as well. But the most profitable services is probably going to be, number one, snow removal. We offer snow removal services. And number two, landscape design build services. When we estimate our services that we offer to our customers, we are actually estimating based off of 2 separate budgets. And that's based off of, number one, our expenses and things like that through our company, but number two, kind of what the market bears and what the competition is charging. So we're kind of looking at that a little bit as well as understanding your numbers very well. But once again, landscape design build, snow removal services, things like that are a little bit more of a specialty in our market here. So we can definitely charge more and make a higher profit on those services.
Perfect. Now this is one of my favorite questions. What have you stopped doing in the last year or 2, maybe 5 years, because it just stopped working for you?
Well, we've had about 4 or 5 acquisitions here within my career of Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping. And one of the acquisitions we had was back about 5 years ago, and it was a porch planter program. And what that was actually a acquisition we bought from a local florist, and they would change out a large flower pot that the customer kept in the front of their home 4 times a year for a certain price. With that clientele that we bought when we had that acquisition from that florist company, we also did a lot of porch planters for a lot of the Main Street businesses. They would put these porch planter pots up and down the main streets and the sidewalks to try to beautify the cities. Well, the problem is that people don't like to water. That's really what it boils down to. So we were delivering, we were getting delivered to us. We were transplanting and leaving the customer with a beautiful flower arrangement that was an annual arrangement. Typically in the spring, it might be some pansies and some forsythia branches in the inside. Summer might be some petunias and something else. But there was really nice full planters. And what we realized is that 2 weeks later, the plants didn't look very good anymore. And the businesses, the homeowners, most of them weren't really caring for them like they need to be. And here in St. Louis, we can get 100, 105 degrees in the summertime sometimes. And you can only imagine, you need to water those plants in at least a couple times a day. If it's cooler in the 80s and 90s, still need to water it once a day. And we had our name on these pots, and we were just getting a lot of calls and complaints that my flowers aren't looking good. And so we decided to get out of the porch planter business because it was, in our eyes, maybe looking bad on our business, when in all reality, it just wasn't being taken care of properly. And we didn't want to get into the watering business. We just felt like there was going to be no money to be made there when we were doing these change outs for $60, $70 a time. How are we going to go there and water them, really every day and be able to make a profit where the customer's going to want to pay for that? So that was one thing we stopped doing, is we got out of the porch planter business and stepped away from that. And that was a good decision.
I think everybody that's done design build can feel your pain with that, right? You put something in and then the customer lets it slide on the maintenance side. And of course, inevitably, you're going to have a prospect that wants to go look at that job. Can we go see this in real life?
Sure.
That's awesome, Adam. So we're going to take another quick break here, and we'll be back with more from Adam Linnemann on the Digital Contractor Show.
Hey, Turfs Up Radio fans, this is Chris Fondrick with Hardscape Marketer. Are you frustrated or overwhelmed with marketing your business? If you'd like to be a local market leader, create a steady stream of new customers, and spend more time doing the things you love, we can help. We know what it's like to build a landscaping business, run crews, and work with customers. If you're ready to grow your business by getting your internet marketing right, download our ultimate internet marketing cheat sheet today at hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet. That's hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet.
We're back on the Digital Contractor Show with Adam Linnemann from Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping in Columbia, Illinois. Adam, this is a kind of a near and dear part of the show to my heart here. We talk about standout projects or causes that are important to you guys. Can you tell us about a project or community involvement that you guys have been around?
Sure. Two or three that come to mind. I'm a two-time past president of the Columbia, Illinois Rotary Club. Always been actively involved there. One of the projects that we did back, I guess it's been about 3 years ago, is we got, I guess there were 4-foot tall trees in, about 125 of them, and we planted them with the Rotary Club. So it was actually an international project because the Rotary International president requested all the members to consider planting a tree for like an Earth Day type thing. And so I was able to get a whole bunch of trees in, got our operations manager together, myself and my 2 boys and some members of the Columbia Rotary Club, and we planted 125 trees in probably 3 different parks here in our hometown. That was one thing we did. Another thing we did, and this is kind of a little bit of a marketing / helping out the community thing also, but back several years ago also, we did a like-a-thon with our local Humane Society. And how we kind of structured that is we looked at our Facebook page and it said, okay, we might have 500 likes. So we kind of documented down, we have 500 likes. We got approval that with our local Humane Society that, hey, we want to make a donation to you. We believe in your cause. We love animals. We want to also, get some publicity out of this as well. Would you be open to allowing us to do a like-a-thon? And for every new like we get on our Facebook page, we'll donate 50 cents for every new like, maybe up to $250 max on that. And so they were thrilled to get a donation to their cause. We were sponsoring that ad, and they were pushing it and sharing it as well, because obviously the more likes that they get or we get, the more they can share it, the more money they're going to get as a donation. And I think at the time we probably got 700 or 800 likes on our company Facebook page by just partnering with a local organization and getting the word out that, hey, we believe in a humane society. We believe in helping animals and pets and strays. And it helped us too, because we gained a lot of new followers that have been with us for a long time. So that's another great idea also, and something that's kind of been dear to our heart.
I love that. I think so many times, especially guys that are getting started, they think that they have to separate it, that they can't partner with a local nonprofit, or
Sure.
find a way to be efficient with the time and do both, like do good for the community and help their business.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take another break here on the Digital Contractor Show, and we'll be back with more from our guest, Adam Linnemann.
Hey, Turfs Up Radio fans, this is Chris Fondrick with Hardscape Marketer. Are you frustrated or overwhelmed with marketing your business? If you'd like to be a local market leader, create a steady stream of new customers, and spend more time doing the things you love, we can help. We know what it's like to build a landscaping business, run crews, and work with customers. If you're ready to grow your business by getting your internet marketing right, download our ultimate internet marketing cheat sheet today at hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet. That's hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet.
Welcome back to the Digital Contractor Show on Turfs Up Radio. I'm here with our guest, Adam Linnemann from Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping in Columbia, Illinois. And we're going to talk about the digital focus now. Adam, can you tell me if you guys have any special initiatives to attract online reviews?
Sure. Nothing necessarily on online reviews too much right now. So I've always kind of didn't really care for online reviews very much, just because I felt like that it might be a hassle, and felt like that if you have someone that, whether it be a competition or, we always, every year we end up dealing with one or two customers that just might not see things the way we see them, and the customer's always right, but it's always difficult to kind of deal with an online review in the public's eyes. That was the way I look at it. So we really don't do a whole lot of that. However, we did just probably over the last 2 or 3 months start doing a little bit of Google online reviews. And so we've been sending the links out to our customers and asking them to give us a review on our Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping Google My Business listing. And so far, we're aiming strong. I think we're at like a 4.7%, which I don't know if it's true or not, but I've been told that's the magic number, 4.7 stars. So, but other than that, yeah, we don't do a whole lot of online reviewing or anything like that right now.
Well, it's interesting to watch the data come back. 4.7 it is actually the magic number, because you're good enough, and you're doing great work, but like you said, nobody does everything perfect every time. And I know people that no matter what, they could have the best service ever and they will never leave a 5-star review. So it looks more authentic.
Sure. And we're not perfect, and we know we're not perfect, but I think the biggest thing is if you get a negative review wherever, social media in general, I think the biggest review is at least respond to it and do your best to try to make it right. But I think the biggest mistake people probably make is just ignore it, don't respond to it, and don't acknowledge that that's out there. So I think that's really important to make sure that you're doing that.
Right, 100%. Well, and that's a great segue with your Testimonial Tuesdays that I've seen coming out. How are you using social media in your business?
Sure. So, just being active on there, quite frankly, trying to get pictures from our sales team when they're out looking at jobs that were just recently completed, taking those pictures and posting them to Facebook, showing your customers what we can, turn our landscapes into. If they are dark and not blooming and not very colorful, what we can turn their landscapes into with some nice night lighting and some blooming flowers and all, something that's really has some good curb appeal to it. So I think it's super important to be in front of your customers on a regular basis and have a large presence on social media. That's definitely where technology is going. That's where people want to see what you can do. I guess, we're talking about social media and the things and reviews and everything right now, but people don't use books very much anymore. They don't look for you in a phone book anymore. You might as well throw the phone book inside the fireplace, right? So you need to be active on social media. You need to be active in general on the internet, and those are great ways. That's actually free to be in front of your customer.
I love the approach of having the sales guys just capture the content. They're not going out and setting up for a $5,000 photo shoot. They're shooting it while they're there, being efficient with the time.
Sure.
I love that.
And while you mentioned that, it's just one thing that just came to mind is that, when I go to TripAdvisor and I choose a hotel, the hotel might have pictures from the hotel, professional pictures from the hotel of the resort. I might look at 2 or 3 of those, but I'm really interested in looking at to see what the customer's pictures look like and what it really looks like, from an iPhone or something like that. So I think once again, it's back to reality. I think we're all smart enough humans to realize that photos can be, fixed up to make them look, perfect. But I like to look at the real life photos that I know that were taken either from my sales team and portray those to our customers versus the ones that I sent off to, whoever to really fix them up and show them that way. So.
Right. Authentic representation.
Exactly.
So what types of follow-up marketing are you doing to your existing client base?
Follow-up marketing, I think the newsletter could fall into that because once we have them, we're touching them at least 12 times a year, if not more. And then the other thing I would say, necessarily not marketing, but at least follow-ups in general is after we send out a quote to a customer, we immediately follow up with a phone call saying, hey, this quote was just emailed to you, did you get it? Because there's always that, 2 times a year, for some reason, we typed in the email address incorrectly or whatever, and the lead went out and it didn't actually get to the customer. So we're definitely following up as soon as we have that lead and that estimate finished to make sure they actually received it. And then once a week on a Wednesday, our office coordinator, Peggy, is actually running a report of all estimates that we sent out that are still pending and they're not marked as either closed or rejected. And we're at least touching them one more time to make sure they got it to see if they made a decision. I can't tell you how many times we've gained work from, number one, just getting back to the customer, number 2, getting the estimate back to the customer quickly and efficiently, and number 3, following up with the customer. That's super important that you follow up and you show interest into the lead, into the client.
Reachable and reliable.
That's right.
Reachable and reliable.
It goes back to that, doesn't it?
Well, and I love how you guys blend it all together. You're not relying on just one thing or just digital. It is a well-rounded approach and going up it. I do have to ask, does Peggy have a Linnemann cape that she wears to the office?
You could say that. You could say that. Like I said, she wears many hats, and she's a huge asset to us. There's so many different things that she handles for us. It really is amazing. So she does a good job.
So aside from follow-up newsletters with email, are you doing any like cold email outreach or anything else for sales with email, like prospecting?
Not too much that I can think of. We are doing some sponsored ads on Facebook. We're doing maybe some Google AdWords here and there throughout the year. I guess you could consider it some cold mails, things like that, or letters that we're sending out, like I mentioned, back to the welcome to the neighborhood letter, those type of things. But we are also doing some door hangers. I mean, here probably, we're here in January, probably here in about another 2 or 3 weeks, we get a couple warm days. We're going to go out and hit some neighborhoods with some door hangers. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but our focus really is trying to build route density and trying to have a domination zone and trying to be as efficient as possible with the people that we're working for. So we're not wanting to drive 15, 20 miles away to service lawns or to put in landscapes if at all possible. We're really wanting to do the work that we provide very close to home to try to keep our price down for our customers, number one, and to try to be very efficient.
Right. I love that idea. I love it. Well, we're going to take another break on the Digital Contractor Show, and we'll be back with more from our guest, Adam Linnemann.
Hey, Turfs Up Radio fans, this is Chris Fondrick with Hardscape Marketer. Are you frustrated or overwhelmed with marketing your business? If you'd like to be a local market leader, create a steady stream of new customers, and spend more time doing the things you love, we can help. We know what it's like to build a landscaping business, run crews, and work with customers. If you're ready to grow your business by getting your internet marketing right, download our ultimate internet marketing cheat sheet today at hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet. That's hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet.
We're back on the Digital Contractor Show on Turfs Up Radio with our guest, Adam Linnemann from Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping in Columbia, Illinois. Adam, we like to talk about hindsight here, and there's no substitute for experience. What's that they say? Experience is that thing you get right after you needed it the most, right?
Sure, exactly.
So with that being said, what are the top 3 things you wish you knew when you started?
Very good question, by the way. I wish I would have hired a mentor sooner. And I can just for a minute or two talk about that a little bit here in a minute. But I've been mentored by, probably a half dozen different consultants, both in the industry and not in the industry, and have learned a lot from them. And the money that I have spent with consultants in the past has, I should have paid probably 5 times as much as how far it's gotten me today. But what I wanted to mention is, back in 2017, I started consulting myself. I have a consulting business called The Green Executive, and we are specific to landscape industry peer groups, mentoring groups, and consulting. So my business is pretty self-sufficient, well-oiled back here at Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping, that I can go on a 2-week vacation and it runs smoothly without me being here. And I love helping, giving back. I'm very involved in the community, like I mentioned to you, with the humane societies, Rotary clubs, and whatnot. So what better way than to start consulting and to help other landscape professionals throughout the green industry as well. So I wish I would have hired a consultant earlier, at the age of maybe 18, 20 years old, versus waiting, 6 or 8 years ago. So that's number one. I wish I would have understood my financials much better. That's probably one of the biggest things I wish I would have done. And nowadays, there's computer software programs out there that part of them are 100% free, that you can learn your financials, understand your financials by just attending a $99 workshop, for instance. We facilitate budgeting workshops for Element software through our consulting company. And we love going out there and showing people what you should charge and why you should charge it. We love telling people why you should charge for drive time to a customer's house, because ultimately what you're doing is you're selling time. You're not selling mowing services. You're not selling landscaping services. You're selling your inventory, and a landscaping company's inventory is time. So that's the biggest thing that I wish I would have understood back years ago, is my financials and my numbers and why I should be charging, to make a profit and so on. So
I love all that. That's perfect. So what was the biggest marketing mistake that you learned the most from?
Biggest marketing mistake that I learned the most from? I don't even remember what that company. So I know I spent a couple $1,000s at the time, and at the time that was quite a bit of money to me, on radio advertisement with our local radio station here. I think it was KMOX or something like that here in St. Louis. I spent several $1,000s on local radio advertisement, and I don't think I got a call based off of that. We did it for like 3 months, which is like a minimum they suggested, and I didn't have very good luck with that at all. And there was another company that I worked with that I don't remember exactly what even the services were that I subscribed to, but it was like $500 a month or so, and it was some sort of like a lead generation type company. And we just didn't have very good luck with that either. It was similar, I believe, to like an Angie's List or something like that, but it wasn't Angie's List. And we didn't have very good luck with that either. So, it's one of those things that you always ask, like, okay, I'm interested in, I'll spend money with you, but what's my ROI? What can you guarantee me? And I remember at the time they're like, well, we can't really guarantee you exactly what you'll get out of this. I'm like, well, let's give it a shot. So I'm a gambling man sometimes. I do go to the casino a little bit, and I did that, and it was a waste of money. So I wish I never would have done that.
Were those exclusive leads to you, or were they giving them to other local contractors too?
I believe they were exclusive leads to us, and we were going to be. I probably shouldn't even brought that up, Chris, but I don't even remember exactly what it was, but it was just a bad situation in general. I wasn't happy with the service. I didn't get any leads out of it. I do remember it had something to do with, at the time, the customer would call our phone number and it would be somehow recorded, possibly through Google or something at the time. And every time we get a phone call through Google, it'd be recorded and we'd have to pay for that phone call. But we just didn't, like I said, didn't get very good luck out of that.
Call tracking number and a paper call.
Yeah, it was something like that.
You want the ideal lead, not just a bunch of random phone calls.
Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely want that. Well, I think the takeaway for the audience with that is that you weren't scared to try it. Even though you were skeptical. Yeah.
Yeah.
You tried it and you knew the numbers, and as soon as it wasn't working, out, right?
Exactly.
So what was the biggest marketing happy accident?
Biggest marketing happy accident? Like, what do you mean by that?
The one thing that you did and you weren't really expecting anything out of it, and it went
really well.
I'll be honest. I was really surprised about the number of likes that you got while supporting the Humane Society.
I was just going to say that like-a-thon, it just got us so many likes. I was like in awe. I was like, oh, this is great. And I remember like a year or two later, I tried it with another organization. It didn't work out nearly as well. So I'm not sure if if it was just the right timing as social media and Facebook was really getting ramped up, or if I just kind of wore out my visit with the Monroe County people that we work with or something. I don't know, but I can definitely tell you that was a great timing, and I was super impressed with, number one, the idea, and then number two, how well it worked out. So,
right, that's awesome. I want that case study. So, what do you say to the owner of a contracting business that's trying to take their company to the next level when it comes to marketing?
Sure. When it comes to marketing, I would say just be consistent, stay on top of it. Don't let it fall through the cracks. Don't be afraid to try, new things sometime. Definitely have a budget for the year in mind also. Every year that we generate our budget for our own landscaping company, we put money aside for marketing and for advertising. So it's there for a reason. Every company needs to market, I believe, in one way, shape, or form. So, my advice is just to do it consistently and stand out in front of the crowd. When you're doing your budgets, do you have a set percentage that you set aside, or do you really reflect on the year and the goals and tailor it to that year's budget? So we are shooting for, and I'm not afraid to say this because I know what industry stats are for lawn and landscaping companies, just from being in the business for so long and for also doing the consulting. But quite frankly, the average landscaping company is around 10% net profit. And, we are setting our profits at 15% net on design build projects and one-up projects. The percentage on snow removal services is a little bit higher than that because that's in our market area here in St. Louis, it's more of an emergency type service, and it's long hours and it's nights and weekends and possibly holidays. Our mowing services and our fertilization services, our net profit budget is at 10%. Once again, like I mentioned, more of a commodity. Those are the numbers that we're shooting for, and I do know industry averages are right around that 10% net range. I also think that you need to take into consideration that 10% net should be after you pay yourself, the owner, a fair salary also. Because, if you don't pay yourself a salary and you just take one lump sum at the end of the fiscal year, that net could be higher ultimately. Or if you take out too much and you overpay yourself as the owner, you could skew that net, pretty easily, and maybe your profit isn't very high at all. So pay yourself a fair salary. And have a 10% net, and I think that's going to be industry average, and that's what we're shooting for.
Perfect. We're going to take another break on the Digital Contractor Show on Turfs Up Radio, and we'll be back with more from Adam Linnemann.
Hey, Turfs Up Radio fans, this is Chris Fondrick with Hardscape Marketer. Are you frustrated or overwhelmed with marketing your business? If you'd like to be a local market leader, create a steady stream of new customers, and spend more time doing the things you love, we can help. We know what it's like to build a landscaping business, run crews, and work with customers. If you're ready to grow your business by getting your internet marketing right, download our ultimate internet marketing cheat sheet today at hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet. That's hardscapemarketer.com/cheat sheet.
We're back on the Digital Contractor Show with our guest, Adam Linnemann from Linnemann Lawn Care and Landscaping Inc. in Columbia, Illinois. He's also the Green Executive. Adam, do you have any additional nuggets of wisdom or insight that you'd like to share?
Yeah, one thing that we added to our website back 3 or so years ago, and I think it's a great thing to have, is we added on our website, LinnemannLawnCare.com, a pricing page. And what it does is it lists maybe 6 or 8 of our core services, and it gives a range of approximately what those services may cost. So there might be a section on there, there is a section on there that's property cleanups. And it might be, like for a small property, it might be $400 to $800 for a property cleanup. Medium-sized property might be a little bit larger than that. For a property that's an acre in size, it might be $1,200 or $1,500 for a cleanup. So we have 6 or 8 services on our pricing page, and it lists some ranges of what things cost. And I think that's a big thing that's helped us be transparent with our customers and also help screen our customers a little bit better before they call in, so they kind of get an idea of what our services cost and aren't shocked whenever they pick up the phone and talk to us. I can also tell you is that based off of, we can see on our website which pages are being viewed, like in the back end, and the pricing page is our second most clicked on page of our website. So other than the home page, pricing page is the second most clicked on one. So it's being seen, and we're not noticing any lack of leads coming in or anything like that because of that. So I'm hoping that that's a little, golden nugget. You shouldn't be afraid to necessarily display what some of your services cost, possibly to the competition so much, as long as you're confident in your services and are going to provide good value to the customer.
Right. Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Provide value to the customer. Right there, you're being respectful of their time. If they are outside of your budget, then save their time. Go to somebody else, right?
Exactly.
So, Adam, can you tell us how to get a hold of you for both Linnemann Lawn Care and the Green Executive? Sure.
So for Linnemann Lawn Care, you can just go to Linnemann, which has 4 N's, LINNEMANN, lawncare.com. You can give us a call at 618-939-GROW, GROW. That's our phone number. Or if you want to shoot an email to me on the consulting end of things, happy to provide a executive overview or discovery session and do a consultation with anybody. And that is thegreenexecutive.com. And you can just submit a contact form directly through there.
Perfect. So not social. You don't want them to send you a DM?
They can send me a DM too if they really want to. I'm on mainly on Facebook as number 1. I would say my second social media choice is LinkedIn, Instagram, then Twitter. So
perfect. Well, Adam, thank you so much for being a guest today. we really appreciate all this wisdom, and hopefully the audience can implement that and help grow their business and reduce their stress level, right? I mean, that's what we're all in it for. Reduce the stress level, make more money.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm your host, Chris Fondrick from hardscapemarketer.com, and this is the Digital Contractor Show, Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.